children watch any of the media coverage, or how did you explain to them, was there certain limitations on what you let them see in the news? Because there were some pretty graphic protests and things like that.
Yeah, it's funny when you live overseas. Like, the kids went to an international school, and international curriculum is much more open to debate than what I've seen and what I'm used to in the United States. So Judd and Gibb were very much involved in the elections, and their teachers actually spoke to them a lot about both sides of what was going on in the United States. I actually think they were much more in tune than the average student their age in America at the time. Did we keep them from watching? We try not to allow them to watch things that are too negative on television, and nor do we watch very much television. But we did speak to them a lot about the election and what was going on at the time. I got a really funny story actually about that I have to tell you at some point.
What's my next question? How did you react to the presidential election? How has the election affected you after, and how have things changed since the election for you?
Perfect. I can tell you a story. So, I woke up. Actually, I went to bed that night, the night of the election, and I told my wife. I said, and let me be clear. For the most part, I've always been conservative. I was actually registered Republican at that time, but Donald Trump was not anyone that I wanted to support, nor did I think he had the ability to run our country, and nor do I think that now. But we went to bed that night, and we were 9 hours ahead of you guys here in Southern California and 6 hours ahead of the East Coast. And we went to bed, and I told Shannon, there's not a chance in the world. Don't worry about it. That guy can't win. And sure as shit, I woke up the next morning at about 4:35 in the morning, and I wanted to check, and they were calling it for Donald Trump, and I was in disbelief. And I remember Shannon waking up very quickly and saying, what happened? And I told her, and she just started crying, and she's not very political either. But the crazy thing is the boys woke up. And when the boys woke up, they came in the room, they said, who won the election? And I said Donald Trump, and they both cheered. And I was like, what the heck is going on here? And so I pulled Judd aside, who's my older. He's 12-year-old, as you know, and I asked him, I said, so why didn't you want Donald Trump to win? And, what he said was quite startling to me, and we've had to have a lot of conversations about it, but it was along the lines of, we wanted a boy to win. And I think at the, in the age of, 4th grade, 5th grade, that's tolerable, but definitely something that we have to work on with our children. I think how it's affected us is, like I said, it goes back to racism, right? There's now a platform for racists in this country that hasn't existed, in my opinion, for at least the last 20 or 30 years. You can feel this country being very different today than when I left it just 3 years ago.
Okay.
Is this working for you, or are you getting enough depth? Do you want more depth or less depth?
No, you're good. Okay, so now we're going to talk about work a little bit. So something big that happened recently was the Colin Kaepernick campaign, or Nike ad that was put out. Do you know how it was, from your marketing background, how would that be introduced? Would it be like a focus group that introduces it, or is it like one person? How do companies like Nike, how do they come up with ads like that?
Okay. So because you're going to present this, I have to say this. This is completely, from my own opinion, and having nothing to do with Nike Inc. Or any of the companies within Nike Inc. I'm speaking as